Far out in the Indian Ocean, surrounded by turquoise waters and coral reefs, lies an island untouched by modern civilization. It's a place where time has stood still for tens of thousands of years, where people still live as their ancestors did during the Stone Age. This is North Sentinel Island, home to one of the world's last uncontacted tribes, the Sentinelese. They are fierce, secretive, and utterly isolated. And for as long as we've known about them, they've made one thing clear. They want nothing to do with the outside world. Imagine standing on a boat, watching the dense green jungle rise from the ocean ahead. The beach looks peaceful, almost inviting. But then, through the trees, you see movement. Figures appear, dark silhouettes carrying bows and spears. They shout in a language no one understands, warning you to leave. If you don't, they'll shoot. This has been the Sentinelese response to outsiders for as long as anyone can remember. The Sentinelese live on a small island in the Andaman Sea, part of a remote chain between India and Southeast Asia. The island itself is only about 60 square kilometers, but it's a world apart. Satellite images show dense forests, hidden rivers, and huts built from leaves and branches. What's astonishing is that these people have been living there completely cut off for possibly 60,000 years. That's longer than any known civilization on Earth. To understand how extraordinary that is, we have to go back to the last ice age. Around 70,000 years ago, early humans migrated out of Africa. Some of those groups reached the islands between India and Indonesia, what we now call the Andaman Islands. But as sea levels rose after the Ice Age, North Sentinel became isolated, trapping its people on a single island. Over thousands of years, while the rest of humanity invented farming, writing, and technology, the Sentinelese remained in their own world, untouched by all of it. What makes them unique is not just their isolation, but their success in surviving that way. While empires rose and fell, while wars reshaped the globe, the Sentinelese thrived in complete independence. They learned to fish, to hunt, and to build without metal or machines. They used fire, crafted tools from stone, and lived off the island's resources. To them, North Sentinel isn't just home, it's the entire universe. Our modern fascination with them began during the colonial era. In the 19th century, when the British controlled India, an officer named Maurice Vidal Portman led an expedition to the island in 1880. He wanted to study the natives, as Europeans often did back then. His team captured 6 Sentinelese people, an elderly couple and 4 children. The adults soon fell sick and died, probably from diseases their immune systems had never encountered. Horrified, Portman released the children back onto the island with gifts and food. After that, the tribe became even more hostile, and who could blame them? For nearly a century, the Sentinelese avoided all contact. Ships that drifted too close were met with a rain of arrows. In 1896, an escaped Indian convict washed up on the island after his raft drifted off course. Days later, his body was found on the beach, pierced with arrows and throat cut. The message was clear: stay away. Even modern governments have learned to respect that boundary. In the 1970s, Indian anthropologists made cautious attempts to approach, leaving coconuts, pigs, and metal pots on the beach as gifts. Sometimes the Sentinelese would watch silently from the trees. Sometimes they would fire arrows. On one occasion, a young Sentinelese man shot at a researcher, narrowly missing him, while others laughed from the forest. The tribe had no interest in friendship. They just wanted to be left alone. In 2004, when a massive tsunami struck the Indian Ocean, destroying coastlines and killing over 200,000 people, Indian authorities feared the Sentinelese had been wiped out. A few days later, a helicopter was sent to check on them. As it hovered above the beach, one man walked out from the forest and raised his bow, aiming at the helicopter. He stood firm, defiant, protecting his home. That single image told the world they were alive and still as strong as ever. The Sentinelese are believed to be direct descendants of the first humans to leave Africa. Their DNA could hold clues to ancient migrations and lost chapters of human evolution. But scientists may never know, because contact would mean death, not necessarily from arrows, but from disease. The Sentinelese have no immunity to viruses that are common to us. Even a simple cold could devastate them. In 2018, the world was reminded of their fierce isolation when an American missionary named John Allen Chow attempted to visit the island. He believed he could convert the tribe to Christianity. Despite warnings from local authorities, Chow bribed fishermen to take him close to the island. On his first attempt, he was shot at with arrows. On his second, he went back and never returned. The fisherman later saw his body dragged across the sand. His death reignited global debate. Should we try to contact these tribes or let them remain untouched? Most anthropologists agree the Sentinelese should be left alone. Contact would bring nothing but destruction. History shows it again and again. Every time isolated tribes meet the modern world, they suffer. Disease, exploitation, cultural collapse. For the Sentinelese, isolation isn't ignorance, it's survival. Still, their existence fascinates us. In a world where everything is connected, where information travels faster than light, the idea that there are people living in complete isolation feels almost impossible. But perhaps that's why we're so drawn to them. The Sentinelese represent something we've lost. A raw connection to nature, a life without technology, without dependence on anyone but ourselves. They are the last echo of the world before civilization. Satellite images show a few clearings where they live, with small huts and canoes. Their tools are simple: spears, bows, arrows tipped with metal from shipwrecks that washed ashore. They've adapted, using what little contact the outside world gives them, but never letting it change who they are. In a sense, they've outsmarted modernity. While we spend our lives chasing progress, they've found peace in isolation. It's strange, isn't it? We think of them as primitive, but maybe they're the only ones who truly understand how to live free. No governments, no wars, no pollution, no technology. Just people living on their own terms, in balance with the world around them. In a time when humanity seems obsessed with expanding and consuming, the Sentinelese remind us that sometimes survival means staying still. We may never know their language, their beliefs, or their stories, but their existence is a living link to our past, a mirror showing us what humanity once was. And maybe in protecting their isolation, we're also protecting a part of ourselves that the modern world has long forgotten. So the next time you look at a map and see that tiny green island in the Indian Ocean, remember there are still mysteries left in this world. Not everything is meant to be discovered. Some things are meant to remain wild, untouched and free, just like the people of North Sentinel Island. If this story made you wonder about how different and yet how similar we all are as humans, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves uncovering the mysteries of our past. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that remain untold.